Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Tenora. I'm one of the ECS career coaches, and welcome to the virtual career fair crash course presented by Johnson Career Services. Today, we're going to be discussing career fair etiquette and how to stand out to employers when attending this type of event. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's start off with talking about what you need to bring to a career fair. You're going to want several copies of your resume to give out to each of the employers you speak with. And another good option is to bring a business card. And there are some great tools online for creating a business card, which can help make you an accessible contact to employers. Another thing to have prepared before you go to the career fair is some professional conversation starters and thoughtful questions. You want to prepare these beforehand so that you arrive feeling like you already know what type of conversation you're going to be having. In addition to having prepared for that discussion, bringing a notepad and a folder is going to be very helpful so that you can collect business cards or handouts and write down any important notes and contact information for the companies that you're meeting with. Now, before you go and attend a career fair, just make sure that you update your resume and social media pages to ensure that they contain recent and relevant content so that you can impress any of the employers that you're giving them out to. Your resume needs to be 1 page long, not any longer and not any shorter, and it should be well organized and easy to read. For social media, you're going to want to have an updated LinkedIn account with a professional headshot attached so that if anybody wants to look you up afterwards, you're going to be easy to find and presenting a professional image. If you do create a business card, a good thing you might include on it would be a scannable QR code to provide an easy link to your LinkedIn account or GitHub or any other social media you want to connect somebody to. One of the most important things you can do before a career fair is researching employers. And this means not only finding out who's going to be there, but what you're going to be able to talk to them about. So find out which employers will be at the career fair in advance. And then you can start working on finding relevant mutual talking points to create a connection with those employers that you've researched. Show that you did your homework by asking about their current projects or ongoings. And this includes why you're a good fit for the company, but you should also strive to talk to them about other things than just the job when possible, because you want to show interest in them as an individual and not just as a recruiter. Be up to knowledge with the skills, trends, and innovations of the industry and the companies you speak with, and this will be helpful in knowing what kinds of jobs you qualify for. Take a second to scan this QR code. It's going to take you to a list of some of the employers who will be attending some of the upcoming career fairs this year. I highly encourage you to take a look at this list because at the end of the presentation, I'm going to give you a bit of a challenge where you're going to utilize some of those research questions to be thinking about. So you can use this list to start researching employers and feeling more prepared when it comes to speaking with them at the upcoming career fairs. Now let's talk a little bit about what to wear to a career fair. And it would be a good time to point out that you are free to wear whatever it is you want. You should never be made to feel uncomfortable by the clothes you wear. But there are some expectations that a lot of employers have become accustomed to seeing. So these tips are going to help you to pick the right outfit to showcase yourself as a professional. So do try to be thoughtful of the image you are presenting and use good judgment. Some recommendations for dressing professionally are to dress well, but to dress comfortable. You don't want to be wearing shoes that are hard to walk in or wearing something where you have to worry about frequent adjustments. Avoid attire that is overly flashy. It's a good idea to stick to neutral colors as this is seen as more professional. And of course, be sure to practice good hygiene. So here are some examples to get you looking and feeling confident. And it's always better to overdress rather than to underdress. So a good idea might be to wear a dress blazer and pair it with a button-down shirt and tie or a nice blouse. You can wear dress pants, or if you choose to wear a skirt or a dress, just make sure that it's an appropriate length. And like I said before, wear comfortable shoes. Don't wear heels over 3 inches and avoid sneakers because they tend to be more casual. Beards and facial hair need to be well groomed and keep makeup, nails, and accessories simple. So now that we have all of the knowledge of how to prepare for the career fair, let's discuss career fair etiquette and how to actually behave. The first tip is knowing your priorities. This is part of why it's a good idea to know the companies beforehand. You want to make sure you time your visit well so you get to talk to everyone you want to, but don't limit your options. And that's tip number two. Even though you should plan out who you want to speak to, try not to let it stop you from speaking to other companies who might not have been in your original sites. You might find a connection you weren't expecting, and it's good to keep your options open and use the career fair as a learning opportunity. The third tip is don't interrupt conversations or monopolize a recruiter's time. If you see someone else talking to a recruiter you wish to speak to, be patient and don't interrupt. That doesn't show good manners on your part. Don't overload the recruiter with questions or too much information, and be sensitive to others who are also waiting to speak with representatives. And tip number four is build rapport and engage in discussion with employers and contacts that you meet at the fair. Write down the name of the individuals you speak to. You'll want to remember it for later. And when it's time to wrap up your conversation, don't forget to thank the recruiters for their time. If you have any final questions, ask them now. In addition, ask them how you should move forward with the application process and what the best way for you to stay in touch with them is. Another really important component is your elevator pitch, and you'll want to start preparing this beforehand so that you can easily use it with employers at the career fair. And the reason for using an elevator pitch is so that you can convey all of the important information you want to in a short amount of time. The ideal elevator pitch is only 30 seconds long, and this is to keep employers engaged and focused on the most important information possible. So you'll start off by introducing yourself, give your name, and tell them your academic degree. Then you'll want to share a little bit about your background. Talk about your experiences, especially work or internships, and focus on 1 to 2 unique skills or specializations that you'd like to share. Then share a statement about your goals. What types of positions are you seeking right now? This is your chance to express your alignment with the company that you're speaking to. And lastly, you'll want to prompt a response from the other person. This means asking a question so that the ball is in their court. It helps keep the conversation going and it helps the recruiter to feel that you want to know about them as much as they want to know about you. And your nonverbal communication is just as important as your verbal communication. So let's go over some of the major nonverbal mistakes to avoid in a conversation. The first one is fidgeting. This can be very distracting. You want the employer to focus on your words and not on your hands. So if you know that you tend to fidget, try to keep your hands on your notepad to avoid letting them move around too much. You'll also want to avoid crossing your arms because this can be interpreted as closed off. Open body language signals open mindedness. Next up is your smile. Be sure to smile throughout the conversation. Not smiling can leave a negative impression and it might make the employer think that you're unfriendly or disinterested. Along with that, be conscious of your eye contact. Maintaining eye contact helps the person feel that you're interested in what they're saying and that your interaction is genuine. Rule number 5 is keep your phone away, even when you're waiting in line. Remember that from the moment you enter the job fair, you're on stage. So if you feel the need to use your phone for notes or something like that, just stick to paper and transfer the notes later. And lastly, make sure that you have a firm handshake. This is the key to selling yourself as a confident and eager professional. And don't forget to follow up with the connections you make. Write thank you notes to each of the employers you speak with. And this is why it's a good idea to write their names down so you can personalize and address it to them individually. It's a great idea to include something unique about your conversation with them so that they know you are listening. The next step is apply. Do this while your face is still fresh in their brain. And if you haven't heard back from them within 2 weeks after submitting your application, reach out to your contact and follow up. You don't want to be too pushy about this, so just do a check in to say, hey, I just wanted to let you know I submitted my application and I wanted to see if you needed any other materials from me. And please remember that it's perfectly normal to feel nervous. So here are some tips to feel more confident if you start feeling the anxiety getting to you. Practice, practice, practice. That is what this presentation is all about. The more you practice, the more confident you're going to feel when it comes to doing it. You can also try doing affirmations, and this is one of my personal favorites. Even if you're unsure, remind yourself that you're an excellent candidate and that you are qualified. Repeating an affirmation in your head or even out loud can help it to stick. Tell yourself things like, I will make a great first impression because I am prepared and I am confident that I am a great candidate for the job. Be specific and tailor these affirmations so that they feel genuine to you. A really helpful one is to remember to start small. You shouldn't go and talk to your top choice right away. Start with a few smaller companies first, and this is going to help to take some of the pressure off, and it will be a lot easier to talk with them after you've had the chance to practice with others first. But most of all, remember to smile and practice your growth mindset. And this means taking things as they come and seeing it all as a learning opportunity. If things don't go the way you planned, then don't let it get you down. There's always going to be more chances to try again. So to wrap things up, here is the challenge I want to leave you with. Go and research some of the companies for the upcoming job fair. Find the ones that you want to talk to and see if you can answer these questions about each of them. What positions are open to students or recent graduates, whichever one applies to you? Describe the company's services and customer base. What are the company's goals? Is this company a good fit for you? Why or why not? And then come up with at least one question you might ask a company representative. All right, good luck at your next career fair, and thank you so much for participating in this presentation. If you have any questions, please contact megan.tedora@utdallas.edu or give us a call at ECS Career Services. Please scan the QR code to fill out a survey and record your attendance for this presentation. Thank you.